For decades, Simon Cowell has been one of the most recognizable figures in global entertainment. Known for his sharp critiques on shows like American Idol, The X Factor, and Britain's Got Talent, he built a reputation on blunt honesty and an almost unshakable public persona. Audiences tuned in not only for the contestants but for Cowell's reactions, which often determined how performances were remembered. However, over recent years, viewers have begun noticing subtle changes in his demeanor. The once razor-edged commentary has softened, and his on-screen presence carries a different emotional tone. While he still maintains his role as a judge and producer, the intensity that once defined him appears tempered by experience and time. This shift has sparked widespread curiosity among fans and media observers. Some attribute it simply to age and long-term career fatigue, while others believe it reflects deeper personal transformation. Cowell's journey from a strict industry gatekeeper to a more reflective figure has become a subject of ongoing discussion. What remains clear is that his public identity is no longer defined solely by criticism and control, but by a more measured and human presence that contrasts sharply with his earlier years in television. Early foundations and the making of a disruptor. Simon Cowell's early life played a significant role in shaping the personality the world would later come to know. Born in London in 1959, he grew up in a household connected to the entertainment and business world, giving him early exposure to media culture. Despite this advantage, his school years were not particularly smooth. He struggled with traditional academic environments and often clashed with authority, eventually leaving formal education earlier than expected. Instead of following a conventional path, Cowell entered the workforce through a series of entry-level roles in the music industry. These early jobs, including time in mailrooms and assistant positions, gave him first-hand insight into how the entertainment business operated behind the scenes. He observed how artists were developed, how deals were structured, and how public image shaped success. These experiences helped him develop a practical understanding of the industry that would later define his career. His early entrepreneurial efforts in music production and publishing were not always successful, but they laid the groundwork for his future influence. Even in moments of failure, he demonstrated persistence and a willingness to rebuild, traits that would become central to his professional identity. Rise through the music industry and early setbacks, Cowell's entry into the music business eventually led to more structured opportunities, where he began working with record labels and developing talent. By the 1980s, he was actively involved in music publishing and production, co-founding ventures that achieved moderate success with pop acts and cover songs. These projects helped him establish credibility within the industry, even if they did not immediately make him a household name. However, his early career was not without setbacks. One of his ventures eventually collapsed, leaving him financially strained and forcing him to reassess his direction. This period of difficulty became a turning point rather than an endpoint. Instead of withdrawing from the industry, he regrouped and continued building connections, learning from the instability of his early business experiences. What defined Cowell during this phase was not consistent success, but resilience. He developed a reputation for understanding what commercial audiences wanted, even when critics disagreed. This ability to predict and shape popular taste would later become one of his most powerful professional assets when he transitioned into television talent shows. The television breakthrough and global recognition. Cowell's rise to global fame began when he transitioned from music production into television talent competitions. His role as a judge on shows like Pop Idol and later American Idol positioned him as a central figure in a new kind of entertainment format. Unlike traditional judges, Cowell's feedback was direct, often brutally honest, and sometimes controversial. This approach made him both widely criticized and widely watched. Audiences were drawn to his unpredictability. A single comment from him could shape public perception of a contestant's future. Over time, his persona became a defining feature of modern reality television. He was not just evaluating talent, he was shaping narratives that viewers engaged with week after week. This era solidified Cowell's influence in global entertainment. he became a producer, judge, and media personality whose decisions carried significant weight. His ability to identify marketable talent and create successful television formats expanded his reach beyond the UK into international markets, making him one of the most influential figures in the industry. Fatherhood and a personal turning point. In 2014, Cowell became a father when his son Eric was born. This moment marked a significant personal shift, as he had previously expressed uncertainty about whether fatherhood was part of his life path. The birth occurred during a period of intense professional activity, yet he prioritized being present for the moment, traveling to be with his partner and child. Following Eric's birth, Cowell spoke more openly about how fatherhood changed his perspective. He described it as grounding and transformative, offering a sense of emotional stability that contrasted with the fast-paced nature of his career. This new role introduced a softer dimension to his public image, one that fans had not previously associated with him. Despite his global fame, Cowell made a deliberate choice to keep his son largely out of the public spotlight. Occasional appearances at events or behind-the-scenes moments were shared, but he avoided turning Eric into a media figure. This decision reflected a clear boundary between his professional life and personal responsibilities, signaling a shift in priorities: privacy, protection, and public curiosity. As Eric grew older, Cowell's approach to privacy remained consistent. He limited public exposure of his son and avoided frequent discussions about his personal life in interviews. This protective stance, while understandable, led to increased public curiosity. Fans and media outlets often speculated about his family life due to the lack of information. In the age of social media, even small changes in public visibility tend to attract attention. Cowell's reduced sharing of family moments was interpreted in various ways, with some suggesting it reflected deeper personal concerns. However, no official statements have confirmed any of the rumors that circulate online. What is clear is that Cowell has consistently prioritized shielding his son from unnecessary media pressure. His approach aligns with a broader trend among public figures who choose to separate their children from fame. While this decision limits public insight, it also reinforces his intention to provide a more stable upbringing away from constant scrutiny. Accident, recovery, and reassessment of priorities. In 2020, Cowell experienced a serious back injury following an accident at his home, which required surgery and a long recovery period. This incident became another major turning point in his life. For someone accustomed to a demanding schedule, the forced pause created space for reflection and recovery. During this period, he stepped back from several professional commitments and reduced his workload. The experience of physical recovery also prompted broader reassessment of lifestyle and priorities. Cowell later acknowledged that the injury helped him slow down and spend more time focusing on family life. Although he eventually returned to television, observers noted that his pace had changed. He appeared less driven by constant production demands and more selective about his projects. This adjustment contributed to the perception that he was transitioning into a different phase of life, one that emphasized balance over intensity. Public speculation and narrative gaps. As Cowell became less visible in certain media spaces, speculation naturally increased. Online discussions often attempt to interpret the personal lives of public figures, especially when information is limited. In Cowell's case, his reduced media presence and protective approach toward his family created gaps that audiences filled with assumptions. Some narratives suggest emotional or personal challenges within his family life, but these remain unverified and should be treated as speculation rather than fact. In reality, Cowell has not publicly confirmed any such claims. The absence of detailed information does not necessarily indicate hidden circumstances. It often reflects a deliberate choice to maintain privacy. This dynamic highlights the tension between public curiosity and personal boundaries. As a long-standing media figure, Cowell exists within a space where silence can be interpreted in multiple ways, regardless of intent. Evolving public persona and softer presence. Over time, Cowell's on-screen personality has noticeably evolved. While he still maintains his role as a judge and producer, his tone has become more measured. He appears more receptive to emotional performances and often engages with contestants in a more empathetic manner than in earlier years. This evolution is likely influenced by both personal experiences and professional maturity. Years of working in entertainment, combined with fatherhood and life events, have contributed to a broader emotional range in his public interactions. Rather than diminishing his authority, this shift has added complexity to his persona. Audiences who once associated him solely with harsh criticism now see a more balanced figure. This change reflects a broader trend in long-running media personalities who adapt their public image over time while maintaining core professional roles. The balance between fame and family life. Cowell's later career reflects an ongoing effort to balance professional responsibilities with family commitments. While he remains active in television production and entertainment ventures, he has expressed interest in spending more time at home and focusing on his son's upbringing. This balance is not unique to him, but it is particularly notable given the intensity of his earlier career. The entertainment industry often demands constant engagement, yet Cowell has gradually shifted toward a more controlled and selective approach to work. His decisions illustrate a broader transition from constant public visibility to a more sustainable lifestyle. Rather than stepping away entirely, he has adjusted his level of involvement, choosing projects that align with his current priorities. Enduring influence and lasting legacy. Despite changes in lifestyle and public presence, Cowell's influence on the entertainment industry remains significant. He helped define the modern talent show format and played a central role in shaping global pop culture over the past 2 decades. His impact can still be seen in the structure of many current television competitions. Beyond his professional achievements, his personal evolution adds another layer to his legacy. The shift from a highly critical television figure to a more reflective and family-oriented individual demonstrates how public personalities change over time. His legacy is no longer defined solely by sharp critiques or television ratings, but also by longevity, adaptability, and transformation within an industry known for constant change. Stepping back, without leaving the spotlight. Although Simon Cowell has not officially retired from television or stepped away from the entertainment industry, his current level of involvement reflects a more selective and deliberate approach. Instead of maintaining the relentless production schedule that once defined his career, he now chooses projects with greater personal meaning and reduced intensity. This shift has led many to interpret his career as a gradual stepping back, even though he remains an active figure in television production. What stands out is not absence, but moderation. He continues to appear on major shows, but his presence feels less driven by dominance and more guided by experience. Cowell no longer seems focused on controlling every outcome or shaping every narrative. Instead, he occupies a role that allows space for others to shine, while he offers guidance when necessary. This evolution suggests a professional identity that has matured alongside his personal life. His reduced visibility outside of key projects has also contributed to the perception of distance. However, this is less about withdrawal and more about recalibration. The industry he helped shape is now one he participates in more strategically, choosing when to engage rather than being constantly immersed in it. Family as the center of a new routine. In recent years, Cowell's daily life has increasingly revolved around family responsibilities, particularly his role as a father. While he remains involved in entertainment, he has spoken in interviews about prioritizing time at home and being present during his son Eric's formative years. This focus has reshaped his schedule, influencing how he chooses work commitments and how frequently he travels. This change reflects a broader shift in priorities. Where once career expansion and production output dominated his time, family now plays a central role in decision-making. Cowell has indicated that personal milestones and everyday family moments carry more weight than industry achievements. This does not diminish his professional ambition but places it within a different hierarchy of importance. His approach also highlights a conscious effort to create stability for his child, away from the volatility of media attention. By maintaining a quieter family environment, he ensures that his personal life remains distinct from his public persona. This balance has become a defining feature of his current lifestyle: public perception and the power of silence. One of the most notable aspects of Cowell's recent years is how public perception has been shaped as much by silence as by visibility. In the absence of constant updates about his private life, audiences and online communities often fill in gaps with speculation. This is a common phenomenon for high-profile figures, where limited information leads to amplified curiosity. Cowell's decision not to frequently discuss his son or personal matters has contributed to this dynamic. However, silence in this context should not be interpreted as concealment. Rather, it reflects a deliberate boundary between public career and private life. Despite this, discussions and theories continue to circulate online, often blending observation with assumption. What remains consistent is Cowell's refusal to engage directly with most rumors. He maintains a clear separation between his professional responsibilities and personal matters, allowing his work to speak for itself while keeping family life protected from public interpretation. A life defined by reinvention and continuity. Looking across Simon Cowell's journey, a consistent theme emerges: reinvention. From early setbacks in the music industry to global fame as a television judge, and now into a more balanced stage of life, his career reflects continuous adaptation. Each phase has been marked by change, but not by disappearance. Instead, he evolves while maintaining a recognizable core identity. His current era is less about dominance and more about sustainability. He continues to contribute to entertainment, but without the same urgency that defined his earlier years. This shift allows him to remain relevant while also prioritizing personal well-being and family life. Ultimately, Cowell's story is not one of departure, but of transformation. He remains present, influential, and active, yet shaped by experiences that have softened and redefined his public image. The result is a figure who continues to evolve rather than fade, balancing legacy with the quieter realities of life beyond constant spotlight.